To your weekly video to keep you continually innovating and improving the operations in your business. I'm Kate Holmes of Innovating Advice, and this week we're going to be talking about how to fully leverage Calendly. So I know there are a few different scheduling tools, but Calendly is hands down my favorite. So easy to use and tons of options. So let's dive in to make sure that it's not another tech tool that you have, but you're just not fully making use of. So we're going to look first at all of the different options that come so you can schedule as many appointments as you want. So a lot of times people think, oh, I can only have one type of appointment. You can make as many as you want. So if you want options for internal meetings, for prospect meetings, for ongoing client meetings, you can do it all. You can color code them, name them, whatever you want. So let's dive into this sample 20-minute intro chat. So we recently had a video on having a schedule now button on your website. So let's say it's going to go to this intro chat for a prospect. So you first want to name it. What is it? Maybe it's a discovery meeting. Then you want to make sure you have a location. And I'm seeing a lot of Calendly links that don't have a location. So I find myself confused about how I'm going to be meeting with the advisor. Are they calling me? So set locations or options. So in the world we're in, I have all my meetings by Zoom, but you can add options. So maybe you have a prospect that would rather just do a phone call. You can give that option, decide if you're going to call them, they'll call you. Once we get back to meeting in person, you can add an actual in-person meeting if you want. So make it clear how you're going to meet, because remember, you want to make it easy and enjoyable to work with you. Then include a little description. You can link somewhere if you want to say, hey, please go to this link and fill out this client discovery form or intake form. You can link there. You can give, 3 points of, hey, schedule this meeting, fill out this form, and then, come in and let's look at working together. I do recommend including this sentence, even though the system should default to the person's time zone. I found for some reason it doesn't always, so it's good to just remind people, double check the time zone. Then you can create whatever URL you want, color code it if you want, and then move on to the next section. So another challenge I hear is that people don't want appointments just popping up on their calendar at all times. So there's tons of ways to put parameters around this. So how long is the event? For me, this is a 20-minute intro call. How far in advance can events be scheduled? Maybe say, hey, I don't want to look 6 weeks into the future. Who knows what's going to happen? You can limit it to maybe you just want to have stuff open for the next 14 days. You can apply that. And then availability. This is where you really control your schedule. You can say, hey, for me, I don't do meetings on Mondays and Fridays. Those are my planning prep days. And since I work all over the world, I have appointments in the mornings and evenings. So whatever works for you, this allows you to build in those buffer times. Maybe you want to make sure you always go for a run at lunchtime. So you can add as many different times throughout the day and throughout the week. You can have them be recurring, one-off. So if I say, hey, actually this Wednesday, I'm unavailable and only apply it to that Wednesday, totally fine. But know that this does link to your calendar, whichever calendar system you use, and it updates in real time. So if you're at an all-day planning offsite on Thursday the 22nd, you don't have to change anything in here. It's automatically going to be blocked out. And then I definitely encourage you to go into the advanced section. So it's a 20-minute call. Do you want to offer that every 30 minutes so they're back to back, or every hour so you've got lots of room? How many of these events per day? Of course, if they're prospects, you'd like to think you can just do that all day long and have people come in a lot. That would be great. But how many of those do you want per day? Minimum scheduling notice. This is an important one. So again, if you don't want those surprise meetings coming up on your calendar, I don't allow appointments to be booked 36 hours in advance. I've usually got the next 36 hours planned out about how my time is going to be spent. So I don't want surprise appointments. And then event buffers. let's keep going with the prospect example. Let's say you want 15 minutes before because you want to review the answers to the questionnaire. And then since it is a prospect meeting, maybe you're hoping it goes really great and you're going to give yourself a 30-minute buffer after in case the meeting goes long and to send a follow-up email. So again, tons of flexibility in here. And then we're going to go into the questions. So I recommend you keep this pretty short and sweet because this is, sort of where it's going to come through in the calendar. But you're going to see the options here. You're going to actually make the person select so that they know exactly how you're going to be connecting. And anything you'd like to share, you can add as many questions as you want. But again, if you're going to send people to a questionnaire or something, you can do that a few other ways, like I showed above in that description, and I'll show you at the end where else you can connect it. So we'll save that. And then notifications. This is another area I often see as not being fully leveraged. So I recommend calendar invitations. That way it just sends it out as a calendar invite, super easy. You always want to be looking at ways that you can eliminate the number of steps that people have to take to make it easy to work with you. So if you send it as an email confirmation, it comes through and then it opens up more windows and you have to create a calendar event. And to me, it's just kind of unnecessarily messy. So calendar invitations, you can personalize these. I just go with the default because honestly, it works pretty great. No need to do more work than necessary. So that gets it on the person's calendar straight away. But then the email reminders are super helpful. So I have never once had a person miss a meeting because these email reminders go out and I have it set out to go out 24 hours in advance and 1 hour in advance. So I wouldn't recommend more than that unless the meeting is, weeks out. But that way, if people do need to reschedule, they've got that notice there. And again, I don't change the language on any of this, just keep it easy. You can even send a follow-up. So if it's a prospect and you have a standard follow-up that you want to send and personalize it, you can say, our team will be following up with you within 48 hours for next steps. You can link to your website. So lots of flexibility there. That way they feel good that they have instantly heard from you. After that, you can do it an hour after, 30 minutes after, whatever you choose. Text reminders, if you want, totally fine. Cancellation policy, I do recommend keeping this checked because again, schedules change. Make it easy if people just need to reschedule, no big deal. And then the last section is the confirmation page. So this is also where you can send people to a questionnaire that you need them to fill out, or you can send them to a welcome page on your website, send them to a video that talks about what you do and how you can serve them. Lots of flexibility there. And then if you do charge, if you do like a jumpstart session or it's just a 1 hour one-off thing, you can actually do that directly through Calendly, through Stripe or PayPal, if that fits with the rest of your system. So went through a lot there, but once you have set all of that up and you're going to use a lot of the same things probably for different types of meetings, you can go back to the main screen and you can just duplicate that. So rather than doing it all over and over and over again, just set it all up once with the different location options and the messages and the personalized reminders going out in advance. Set it up once, duplicate for future meetings, and I think you'll be a lot happier with the flexibility you have in your schedule and how easy it is for clients, prospects, and colleagues to find time to meet with you. So I hope that was helpful, and I will see you back here again next week.